first off, let's get this out the way. Yes, this is very similar to Adam from partsFUNknown book videos. And to be fair, this is basically a tribute to that because I won't do a lot of wrestling ones, wrestling versions of these Why Would I Do's, but this is one that I know that I've had very strong opinions about, and so I wanted to get this out the way early. That way, if another one does come, I can spread it out easily. But I do want to get this one done. So shout out to Adam. Adam's one of the coolest guys, and love that he's back doing wrestling stuff. But the Undertaker's streak is one of the best things that accidentally fell into WWE's lap. Well into the streak, they didn't even know that he was undefeated, and then somebody finally just picked up like, oh wait, this is golden. And he had classics against like Triple H and Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, a bunch of different guys. Now there was some duds in there, but a win's a win nonetheless, and a streak is a streak nonetheless. So it just brought this aura at every WrestleMania, where you're wondering who's gonna take on face and is this the year that he loses. So leading up to WrestleMania 30, there have been a few people who have been picked to maybe end the streak, but they either refused or things changed. And then we got to WrestleMania 30, and Brock Lesnar defeated the streak. It's crazy because you just going in, I didn't even think it was gonna happen, and for it to happen the way it did, the match was not great due to circumstances. In that match, people got hurt. Undertaker got hurt, and it was not the way it should have ended. I personally would not have ended the streak, but I know how to keep the streak alive, but also do something that should have been done probably a little earlier, in my opinion, and that's the Undertaker's retirement. So this is Why Would I Do with Undertaker's retirement. So WrestleMania 30, Undertaker's taking on Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock Lesnar is the hardest hitting dude that Undertaker's fought in some times, during this time period, WrestleMania 30. Previous WrestleManias, we've watched the Undertaker face people like Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and particularly Triple H, because I think he fought him in back-to-back WrestleManias, where at the end of the match, he's barely able to stand on his own. It takes him a while. He lays in the ring for a minute, and you get to see that, the once spry Undertaker is slowly leaving him. And so that's what I want to play on as far as leading up to the match. Paul Heyman's a master of words. He'll point to the fact that, you're barely able to stand against, Triple H, but my advocate, my guy, the conqueror Brock Lesnar, is going to do way worse to you. And so, the Undertaker, he's still doing his thing. No sign of fear from the Undertaker, right? So the match goes on, and Brock's beating him pretty badly. If we can even keep the structure of the match that happened at WrestleMania 30, we're taking away the concussion, obviously. We can keep the three F5s, man. Because I think that 5 is a well protected move at this point. Like if you get hit with it, you're basically not getting up. So Undertaker's fighting, but he's getting German suplex. He's getting F5s, 3 consecutive F5s. He kicks out of each one of them. So now Brock's getting angry. Brock goes for a 4th F5. Undertaker wiggles his way out and is able to hit a tombstone pile driver. We'll say Brock kicks out just to add some theatrics to this match. And so Brock, they're still battling back and forth. Brock Lesnar and Undertaker battling back and forth. Undertaker's able to hit a 2nd tombstone, and that's what gets him the victory. Paul Heyman can't believe it. Brock leaves the ring. but Undertaker lays. He's still on the ground. He's not moving. He's barely able to roll up into his up position. You still get the 30-0, 30-0 sign up or not 30. I'm sorry, 21 is be 22-0 at this point. 22-0 on the screen, but again, he's not moving. He's able to get himself up on a one knee, and as he's getting ready to do, his typical, thing, the lights go out, but not in the typical fashion when he would do it. You could see at the beginning of the ramp that the smoke is starting to build up, and the dudes in the hoods, they're coming down, but they're carrying a casket, and there's one in the front, and he's walking up slow like Undertaker. You know how long it takes Undertaker to get to these events, to the ring, and I think they're called druids, but he gets in the ring, and Undertaker's looking at him. He's looking at the casket. Half of his face is looking like, he's disappointed. He's like, no, I still had this time left. And the other half, you can just tell he's accepting of it. He knows it's his time. And the druid just looks at him. You can barely see the dude's face. You probably see like half of it. And just keeps looking at Undertaker. Undertaker's just like shaking his head. And the druid just keeps looking. The druid looks back at the casket. Undertaker shaking, he nods his head, and the druid gets out the ring. Undertaker looks at the crowd, takes it all in, soaks in the moment, because at this point, the crowd knows what's about to happen. The crowd understands the magnitude that this guy who has entertained them for years is calling a career, and the one thing about a wrestling crowd is they understand the moment, and they will show their gratitude during this moment, because, especially for a legend like the Undertaker. The Undertaker, he looks at the crowd, and, he still ends up doing the thing. He gets out the ring, goes to the casket. He does the look back to the crowd, raises the fist, climbs in the casket, they close the casket. He walks off through the smoke, ending the career of one of the greatest legends of all time. I think that this ending gives Undertaker not only the streak still intact, but it also sends him off the right way, because of the pandemic, Undertaker had to retire with like no crowd, and that sucks. And yes, if we retire him early, we don't get a few of these matches. We don't get the Dirty Dogs match. Or the Graveyard Dogs. I'm sorry, Dirty Dogs is Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, and that's a stupid name. But we don't get the Graveyard Dog match. We don't get the Boneyard match with AJ Styles, and that sucks. But I just think that this match would be a more fitting end, especially of who he beat and just the way he goes out. But if you really wanted to have him lose and still, ride off into the sunset, do it against Roman Reigns. They already had the great loss, or the loss in the Roman Reigns match, and the great ending. I love him taking off the hat and stuff, but let's replace that with the casket thing. And then again, a great send off, and then just put him in the Hall of Fame and let that man just rest up, because all he's ever wanted to do is rest in peace. He's been telling everybody else to do it. It's his time. Finally let him do it, man. But what do you guys think, man? Did you like the way the Undertaker retired with the Boneyard match, and just having to say goodbye with no fans of the pandemic, or would you have rather seen this? Let me know in the comments. Tell me I'm a moron, or tell me that you enjoy the idea, man. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at CluelessVino. Drink wine and do episodes of Clueless Vino, the podcast. It's available on all streaming platforms. I'm good. I definitely want to do more of these wrestling ones, but not as many where it feels like I'm biting on Adam. Even though Adam's my guy. Love Adam from partsFUNknown. Very, very clever guy. I look forward to all of his videos. But yeah. Don't forget,